Nothing wrong with being skeptical of potential grifts. That's like saying to not be critical of Whitney Cummings. Oh, don't get me started.
I'm on your side. I was on your side. I was on your side, Chrissy, because she was all like, "Oh, I'm badass," and I'm like against everything, and I'm like,
"I'm sorry." Here's the thing, and I saw a lot of people were commenting on the Brett Cooper video, and I bumped into Brett. He did a show at the Stand. What was it, last week, 2 weeks ago? She's very tall, very gorgeous in person. Here's the thing. This might sound, I don't care how it sounds. People who people who did absolutely nothing during the pandemic, people who did not stand up, people who sat there.
Made people get vaccines to go to their shows. They made people get vaccines to go to their shows.
People who did nothing, who didn't stand up, who put zero on the line. I'm sorry, they're going to probably stick up for other people who also did nothing during the pandemic, during the lockdowns. Put zero on the line. Whitney put zero on the line. She lost zero. She lost no shows, no income, not her standing in the industry, not the
she went along with it all. She went along with it all to make money.
With it. Performed at venues that mandated the vaccine. I'm sorry, it doesn't count if you did a few outdoor shows where anybody could come. We all did that in the beginning, but guess what? Then you had the choice, and I'm like, I don't want to say I'm nobody. I'm very much a small fish compared to Whitney Cummings. They would have listened to her. Oh, the promoters mandated the vax. Fuck it. You tell them what to do. You're the talent.
That's why you're so respectable, Chrissy, because you were for real about it. You were like, fuck y'all.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, I mean, yes, integrity is nice, but like, and Lila rants about this too. She's almost like, I wish sometimes maybe I'd kept my mouth shut because I didn't fucking get anything. Like, we didn't get anything for it, which is just like, dignity and respect. Which
Lila
nice.
had to move for Chrissy.
Just dignity and respect.
People like Whitney, they get to have their cake and eat it too.
She's like, I said something mean about CNN. I'm awesome.
They get to like do nothing during the pandemic, put nothing on the line, lose nothing, and then in 2025. Say a few jokes on CNN, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, she's so base. She's our hero." Well, she came around eventually. Oh, don't be so mean. Don't you want people to agree with you? It's like, fuck you. She could have had so much impact. She's a freaking household name, very famous. People would have listened to her, and it really would have helped the cause. Like, okay, yes, eventually we did get there. We don't have vaccine passports right now. But like, imagine if we didn't, and people, it's so easy for people to be like, what's the big deal? It's not, it's over. It's like, it very easily could not have been over. Like we could have very easily had vaccine passports and not be able to travel without that.
And all the comedy places did. The comedy places all did. They all.
And here's the thing that Brett doesn't understand, because she might have been, I don't know, was she 12 years old during the pandemic? She doesn't realize what entertainers, especially in the New York and LA area, had to put up with during the lockdowns. Like, you literally could not go.
You risk it. That's why I love you, Chrissy, and respect you, because you actually risked it. You and Lila, like, you guys risked it for real. It was your career.
We both were at this place where we were like, oh, I'm just not gonna perform anywhere in New York City ever again. And you have to be okay with that, because if you don't, you're a hypocrite. And it's like, well, if I don't take a stand, like, and I'm
now, here's the thing, to her point, right? Like, and I when I watched the video, I was just like, oh my God, because I rolled my eyes too. No, but to her point, she's trying to say that, like, when you get there, even like, better late than never, right? So she's like saying, like, better late than never. So when they get here,
not during that, you
should be more welcoming, or like whatever. So I kind of see that from that point of view, but I'm also really fucking bitter about it. So I'm like,
that was a big deal. COVID was a big deal.
Are not going to forget about it and be like, oh, let's hand out participation trophies to the people who eventually got there. Fuck no. A lot of us had family members die that we weren't allowed to see. People lost jobs. People lost family members. People lost friendships over this. People lost a lot, and people didn't lose shit. Sorry, I'm not gonna be like, oh wow, you came around eventually. How wonderful.
It sounded to me like Brett was one of those people who got vaccinated, and then
Well, didn't she work at the Daily Wire? Wasn't Brett Daily Wire?
Yeah.
Before?
Well, she
Yeah,
was.
Shapiro was
was.
pushing it. Shapiro was pushing it.
Shapiro
so.
was pushing it, but I don't know
Yeah.
if everybody took it or not. I'm
Who
just saying,
knows?
I just feel like Brett is one of those people who took the vaccine and was basically fine, because if you took the vaccine and
you didn't have any reactions, you're the ones you're gonna go around thinking, oh, this is perfectly safe, when it's like, no,
didn't have a reaction yet.
right,
and
yeah,
but
hopefully
did you
never will.
boosted, and they stopped getting the boost, like the people who did the
I'm
initial 2 or
assuming, by the way,
whatever.
I have no idea if she
Right,
took the
no,
vax or not.
it's
I'm
an
just saying
interesting-
I bet she did.
like,
I bet she did.
And
I bet she
I
did.
noticed a
Continue
lot
to
of
take
people,
it.
from the "Let's Give People Grace" camp, you sound vaccinated, and also it's
Exactly.
easy to say that when you did nothing for
When you
years.
basically were like, goose stepping along, like, just go along, Jerry, go
Like-
along. Remember that Seinfeld
Mhm.
joke? Just go
Like
along.
Chrissy, you made a stand. Chrissy, you made a stand. Like you were saying, I'm not like, this is stupid. We're not going to do this stuff. And now Whitney's all like, oh, I made fun of CNN. Aren't I cool? And it's like, you have made people get a vaccine to go to your stupid shows.
Yeah.
Like, that's
And like, don't be like, oh, the promoters. Who's more powerful, the promoters or you, the person that people?
yeah.
are
You could
coming to
cancel.
see?
You could just cancel, right? You could just
Yeah,
say, I'm not going
guess
to do
what?
it.
There were comics. I believe Andrew Schultz had a venue where that was pro-vaccine, that he said, guess what? You're not making my people take the vaccine. You're not making my people test. Like, we're not doing that. And every comic had the power to do that. And if you didn't do it, it's because you didn't fucking
Even
care.
Jordan Peterson, Jordan Peterson had the power. He went around talking, and there were some things he went to where everyone had to be vaccinated with Jordan Peterson. I'm like, screw you, dude. Like, screw all that stuff. Like, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe we lived through that stuff.
I think
I
giving
know.
grace
I
to
still can't
people
believe
who are not like public facing is important. You know what I mean? Like, if it's like people who don't have an online presence. I mean, like, I used to be like full on lefty, so I maybe have a too much of a biased perspective. But I think that, like, when it comes down to it, it depends on how vindictive you were during that era. How active saying sorry might cut it if it was someone who like is just like your coworker who didn't speak up or something like that, versus someone who actually had, I mean, like, one of the biggest like forces in I guess entertainment right now is UFC, because Dana White kept like UFC open. I'm not the target audience, but I respect the hell out of what he did. Like, people who took that risk were ultimately rewarded, or well, it's not everyone, but like people who took big risks could get big rewards. But like, I think there's a lot of people right now too who are like realizing that they were misled or are regretting getting that first round of vaccines. And I think that telling them, haha, you deserve everything that's happening to like we had one of the most intensive psyops like I've ever really been like cognizant of happening in real time. And I have a lot of sympathy for people who were misled to the point where they like the genetic expression of these like mRNA vaccines, like, we don't know what the half-life is. We don't know what the long-term ramifications of them are. All of the experiments that have been done like have not just don't turn out well. There's like a whole different aspect of it where like it could really, really go very poorly for a lot of people very quickly over the next few years. And I don't think anyone deserves that, because they had their job held over,
especially if it's your job. The job thing was the big thing, was your job,
like speed or whatever. And I think that it's important that people did stand up to it, but not like, again, it was a massive psyop that was taking place. I don't blame people who were victims of a psyop. I blame the psyopers.
Yeah, I'm with you all.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree
to some extent, though, because
I mean,
there was something like I don't blame the ones that are like, like what you said, but I do blame the ones that are like
could have made
people that
were
clinging on to the promise of like, oh, we all just get vaccinated and it'll all be over.
There's a difference between somebody who worked at a job, had to feed their family, and job says, hey, you either get vaccinated or you lose your job, you can't feed your family. I have sympathy for those people. That's a lot of
same.
people.
But I also have friends who did. I have friends who quit and left and made it work.
But
you
someone
know?
in Whitney Cummings' position who had the
Yeah.
power to make shows
Oh no,
and
fuck
perform
Whitney
places
Cummings.
that did
Sorry.
not.
That was
She
not
could have
fair.
said, no, we're not testing. We're not mandating vaxes. She had the, you know what I mean? There,
Yeah,
she
100%.
had the power to
I'm with
change
you.
it. I don't at all. I would never shame somebody who's at a job who's like, yeah, I got to do it. I'm fucked and I'm going to lose my.
Or in the or in the military.
Well, like, imagine
the
military
military.
job.
Came out
Yeah.
tonight and was like, "Oh, guys, by the way, like, sorry about that." I'd be like, "Go fuck yourself, bro!" Like,
Mhm.
you know, people like Colbert and like all those people like that are like
Yeah.
Doing
promoting
his like
that shit.
dance with the
And then
Yeah.
it's also hard for me to. It's so hard for me to like have sympathy for Whitney Cummings because it's like we're around the same age. We, you know, when I think like we had access, it's not like you're a kid in your 20s, like Brett Cooper, right? I give her a pass too because she was too young. She's like, you know, she's probably, I don't know, in kindergarten during the pandemic. Like, what? I
think
don't
it was
fucking know.
just a display
She's
of
too
like
young to
general
know.
optimism
And it's like
more than anything.
when I think
Yeah.
someone's around the same age as me and we had the same access to the same Alex Jones, the same internet, the same time, it's like, how could you not?
But think of how
Get to-
algorithmically controlled things were. Like think about who was in charge of like Twitter at the time. Think about like I mean there
And
was
white women are
followers.
followers. White women are followers. Like they just are. Like,
Apparently, not
you
all
know.
white women. I mean, she wasn't.
Not
following.
all, but
Yeah. It is wild. The algorithm thing is real.
I think people in general, like we're a couple genes shy of being like herd animals, truly, but like it's an instinctual thing to go with what
The herd. It's true.
Right.
It's a survival
People don't want to
reflex.
stick out. It's true.
And I have a
Just
lot
like
of friends
it
who
feels-
were lefty, and I was lefty, and they say, "Well, you guys were holding out. We couldn't move ahead." And it's like that's how their
Dude,
thinking
I
was.
had
Like
Well,
you
it's a
all had
lot
to
easier
do
to
it.
pit people against each other than to face the
Yeah.
actual
I
like,
had people tell
wild.
me
issue.
that like because I refused to fly. Like I was like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking
Girl, I
participating in this
still wouldn't.
bullshit. And I fucking didn't do it, right? And then people
I
were
wouldn't
telling
go.
me,
Yeah, I
like,
wouldn't
"Oh,
go
get
out
the-
where you had to be vaccinated or whatever.
Go get the fake thing, like get the fake card or whatever.
I didn't do
and
it.
You can
I didn't
travel.
do
And
it.
I was like, I'm not
Good for
even
you.
gonna participate in getting the fake card because
Right.
once you start
still part of the
participating in
system.
that means you're validating this insane
Yep.
existence. And I was like, I'm not even fucking gonna do that because I'm gonna do the other thing. I'm gonna fight this shit so that
Mhm.
we can fucking get our world back. I was against this whole bullshit about the new normal from the fucking first day. I was like,
Mhm.
new normal? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not participating in any of this. So I get you, Chrissy, because I was just like you. I'm like, I cannot understand even the people who actually did participate in it. I'd be like, fuck that. I'm not doing
Mhm.
it. But
Well,
hey,
the biometric IDs have not gone away. They've only taken a different form. So it's not
Ooh.
the battle is not won yet, but the
Shifted. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
individual
But
fight
if you have kids, don't let your kids fit in. Make your kids stand up against fitting in for when this kind of crap happens.
Yeah.
Because
Sam
it's
says Brett also
important.
excused Zuckerberg. Screw that. Oh.
yeah, she was all like, well, like, look, he's just so changed. I'm like, yeah, because his programming is updated.
He
He's
just
a
has a
fucking
different
robot.
hairstyle.
he's like
see-
a fucking robot. He's got a
I
different
asked-
program.
I asked the nurse for the shot with the microchips in it so I could get better 5G reception, but she just shook her head like I was crazy. Oh, that's funny. Stymie, Purebloods. Yeah, Purebloods for life. Sam, it's not about vindictiveness. It's about the countless lives that were destroyed that will never ever get justice. We can't forget them.
I'm not
Right.
saying
And
forget
all
them.
I
Exactly.
want is like an apology or like if Whitney was
Say
like,
you were wrong.
"Look,
Say
I
you're
was
wrong.
wrong. It was the wrong move to mandate jabs at my shows. I was wrong. That's it. That's all.
Dude, you know what though? That's what I'm saying, Chrissy. Some people I'm not gonna accept that from. Like not if Colbert came
Not
out and said,
Fauci, yeah, not
I'm
Well,
Fauci.
yeah,
like,
not
I'm sorry,
Colbert.
I'd be like, go fuck yourself. There's
But
people.
I had a
there's
yoga
certain people that
teacher.
no,
I had a
don't
yoga
accept
teacher
it.
who was like, we were doing the best we could. And I'm like, you're in a hot yoga room for this 5,000-year-old practice, making people wear masks. Really?
That's
Like,
insane. That's actually
it
insane.
was And then I couldn't go because I wasn't vaccinated. And I was like, and she's like, we were just doing the best we could. And I'm like, okay, nope. And you didn't ever apologize. Nope. Sorry.
Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.